allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Senator Sanborn is excused for the day, and now we'll have introductions of guests. Senator Avard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to introduce my son, Sergeant Michael Avard, with his guest from the New Hampshire Honor Guard.
I'd like to recognize Senator Phelps to offer 3 resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, it's my honor and privilege to present 3 ceremonial resolutions to residents of Senate District 15 to thank them for their service to our state and our country. Beginning with Sergeant Avard. Be it known that the New Hampshire Senate extends its congratulations to Sergeant Michael A. Avard in recognition of 8 years of service in the Funeral Honors Program, honoring more than 900 New Hampshire veterans at funeral services, and for ensuring that all New Hampshire Army veterans receive the military honors they are entitled to, and for taking over as a non-commissioned officer in charge and the state coordinator in 2012. And be it further known that the New Hampshire Senate extends its heartfelt gratitude and thanks for your dedicated service. To Sergeant Avard. Sergeant Nicholas Fournier. In recognition of 5 years of service in the Funeral Honors Program, honoring over 450 veterans at funeral services all across New Hampshire, and for being a model soldier and who is an excellent example of what all U.S. Army Honor Guard members should strive to be. And be it further known that the New Hampshire Senate extends its heartfelt gratitude and thanks for your dedicated service. Sergeant Fournier. Sergeant Carey. In recognition of Sergeant Zachary N. Carey with 5 years of service in the Funeral Honors Program, honoring over 830 veterans at funeral services all across New Hampshire, and for being one of 4 nationally certified trainers in the state who provide training of the highest standard for members of the U.S. Army Honor Guard. And be it further known that the New Hampshire State Senate extends its heartfelt gratitude and thanks for your dedicated service. Sergeant Carey.
I want to thank Senator Avard and Senator Phelps for their efforts to recognize these gentlemen, and once again, thank you all for participating in this. The Senate will be attentive to the clerk. The Senate will be in recess for 5 minutes. Be attentive to the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. The House of Representatives is ready to meet in joint convention for the purpose of canvassing the vote for governor and executive.
Senate will join the House. I recognize Senator Bradley.
Good morning, Mr. President. And thank you. Resolved that the Senate meet in joint convention with the House of Representatives for the purpose of canvassing votes for the governor and executive council.
The question is on the adoption of the resolution. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. The Senate is in recess for the purpose of joint convention with the House. I recognize Senator Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolved that in accordance with the list in the possession of the Senate clerk, the following legislation shall be read. accompanying legislation, shall be by this resolution read first and second time by the therein listed titles and referred to the therein designated committees.
Question is the adoption of the resolution. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Recognize Senator Bradley.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I move to amend Senate Rule 326.
Is there any discussion?
Excuse me, I also move to amend in my motion Senate Rule 7.1.
Senator Bradley moves to amend Senate Rule 3-26 and Senate Rule 7-1 with the amendments provided here today. Is there any discussion? Question is on amending Senate Rules 3-26 and 7-1. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Are there any further amendments? Senator Pierce.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I believe everyone should have gotten a copy of a proposed amendment to the amendment that we just adopted. It's being handed out now at the top. It makes reference to Tuesday, January 6th at 4:34 p.m. Mr. President, the purpose of this amendment is to have us honor what the Constitution dictates that we do. In that, I seek to add the words. If you look at the handout, down halfway through the new language, I seek to add the words "and resolutions passed by the House and referred to the Senate for consideration." And Mr. President, the reason I do that is because as we have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution, Part 2, Article 2, states that the supreme legislative power within the state shall be vested in the Senate and House of Representatives, each of which shall have a negative on the other. Article 45 also talks about how resolutions are to be treated like bills. But the point is in Article 2, each of which shall have a negative on the other. I believe that language divests the Senate of any discretion to not consider any House resolution that is passed onto the Senate for consideration. Because a duly passed resolution by the House must come to the Senate so that we can fulfill our constitutional duty under Article 2 to act as a negative on the House resolution. And for that reason, I ask the Senate adopt my amendment to the proposed amendment. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Pierce. Any discussion on Senator Pierce's amendment? Senator Bradley.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I rise in opposition to the amendment offered by my good friend from the Upper Valley. We have, over the last couple of years, come to the point where we are at to ensure that House resolutions and or Senate resolutions that any of us may sponsor can be introduced to this body for thorough consideration as is required by the Constitution, but after receiving that 2/3 vote. I would ask that the body uphold the rule that we just adopted, which clarifies the 2/3 vote for introduction of resolutions and reject this amendment to the amendment that we just adopted. Thank you.
Any further discussion on Senator Pierce's amendment? Senator Woodbury.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in opposition to the good member from Lebanon. What we have here is a deal that was put together with the majority and the minority to be able to allow resolutions into this body, something that was excluded before, and ones that I know the great conflict here, the decision of trying to have worthy resolutions, but also not ones that are just purely political. And unfortunately, this was a difficult issue to put together. I commend the majority leader and the deputy minority leader for crafting this, and I think we should keep that going. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Woodburn. Any further discussion on Senator Pierce's amendment? Are you ready for the question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
Noes have it. Defeated Senator Pearson's amendment. At this point, we adopted Senator Bradley's amendment to 3-26 and 7-1. Are there any further amendments? Seeing none, I recognize Senator Bradley for the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate now adjourn from the early session, that the business in the late session be in order at the present time, and that when we adjourn to Thursday, January 8th, 2015, at 11:15 a.m. That's tomorrow.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. The ayes have it. The early session is adjourned. We are now in the late session. Are there any announcements to come before the Senate? Senator D'Alessandro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'd like to take a point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. President, prior to the holidays, we lost a former Senate President, David Lee Nixon. David Nixon was president of this body from 1973 to 1974. At that time, Mr. President, I served in the House of Representatives. Dave was a great friend, a great lawyer, but more important, a great humanitarian. A man who gave and gave and gave. He did more pro bono work than anybody I know in this state. There was never a case that Dave Nixon would not take. When it came to charitable giving, Dave Nixon was there on every occasion, Republican or Democrat. He was the kind of human being that we all should emulate. Dave Nixon was my friend. He was my colleague when we were in these bodies together in 1973. And he will be remembered for the great work that he did as a human being. We should all emulate Dave Nixon. He was a family man, had a large family, sons and daughters who have gone on to do good things in life. But I must say that Dave Nixon suffered tremendously at the end of his life. He suffered, but he endured that suffering and never gave up his desire to serve people. Till his dying day, he was in that office every morning to serve people of the state of New Hampshire. Dave Nixon was my friend. Dave Nixon was my colleague. Dave Nixon was a person that none of us should ever forget. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator D'Alessandro. Without objection, Senator D'Alessandro's remarks will be entered into the permanent journal of the Senate. Any further announcements? I recognize Senator Bradley for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate adjourn until Thursday, January 8th, 2015, at 11:15 a.m.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. The ayes have it. The Senate is adjourned to Thursday, January 8th, 2015, at 11:15 a.m.